Hi guys, we're back with more of the Infernite League. So last time we killed an ex-member of the Royal Guard, and we got a new member to the inn, missing 2 eyes. So junior sister Elizabeth has come back to the Second Chance Saloon to stay with the party. However, her pimp, as she was a prostitute, got angry when the party got asked to do a job. They did it badly, and because of it, she took Elizabeth's eyes as payment.
Thank Jesus.
Could have gone a little better, guys. So we're going to be doing a tiny little day skip. We're going like 2 or 3 days since the last session. And the first thing I'm going to ask is, what did you do with the body? Not Elizabeth, she's alive. We'll deal with Elizabeth and Junior in a bit. But Gilraim, the captain of the guard who was working on the boat that you guys raided, you guys murdered him.
Oh, yeah.
I think we chopped his body up and put him in some steak pies and sold it to the locals.
Nah.
No, that's a bit complicated.
Sweetie taught it.
Bury him, maybe?
Do any of you cook?
Nah, man, I was making a message out of it. I remember this. I've remembered who I am and what I'm doing with my life.
What do you do with him?
I was gonna, fucking write some sort of threatening message into his back and hang him up on a flagpole or some shit.
Cool.
Put him on display. Let him know. Let people know crime's back.
Crime is back, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight out of Compton.
When you say threatening message, what do you want to do? What message do you want to leave, man?
Basically, I'm gonna carve in, not exactly I'm not writing a strongly worded letter.
Dear sir or madam.
I've run out of backs, guys. What do I do?
Find another guard.
I'm gonna let's see how exactly this. Gonna face our little sort of. I'm trying to think if there's any sort of specific.
Why not just write our name on the back?
That's what I was thinking. But
Just write Infernite League.
Yeah, well, at least also sort of symbol associated with it, like a logo.
Do we have a logo?
Not yet.
Let's have a creative design session with just with a knife over this dead guy's back in the middle.
Okay, our logo. I have a feeling our logo should be a fallen kobold with a knife in his back, holding a frog and jello while being attacked by a purple monster.
We're criminals. We're gonna have a logo of a burning coin or something. With the Infernite League, it's got fire in it.
A circle covered in fire.
The kobold was all my idea, though.
But that's got nothing to do with stealing things and stabbing guards.
Oh, just so we're aware, just so the kobold joke is got, we have a board for we can see a board which is where we do our kind of doodles. It's never really been shown to the viewers, but I found all the tokens that GMs can place. So I just started placing weird tokens in an order, which is where the whole kobold holding jello and a frog being stabbed in the back and having a purple worm for legs came from. It's been a weird day. So yeah, people want that kind of thing for our group logo. Is everyone good with that? He'll finish it later, but this is what Tom will be doing for the next hour. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
I can't stop drawing. It won't let me.
I can't stop. Help. But yeah, you guys carve a symbol into I do love this idea of the party just being having a brainstorming session about what your guys' logo is, just carve
It's just we're all just sat around this body in the middle of the night, all drawing different symbols and stuff. Junior just turns out a piece of paper. It's I drew each of us sat around having a nice time. That's me. That's that's my sister. She has no eyes.
And this is before she even loses her eyes. I have a feeling this
just I don't know why I gave her no eyes. This isn't ominous at all. Looks to camera.
Dorhim just turns his picture around.
Dorhim is not there. That's correct. Where are you?
I'm in the inn because these guys said we're going to the inn.
I just picture Dorhim in the inn, just drawing an eye and going, "This is a nice."
Oh, yeah. I remember. I'd actually completely forgotten that Dorhim hadn't joined this group because they went, "We're going to the inn," and then just didn't go there. Dorhim's just sitting there in a stool, like slightly too long for him, swinging his legs under the table. Like, he'll come back. But yeah, so this symbol is etched into his back, and like you're leaving him in like a kind of official place in the middle of the city, right?
Yeah, but like this guy was the person that sort of removed crime from the city in a weird way, right?
Yeah, he was like the king. He was like the king's right-hand man during
crime is back and it's bigger than ever.
No, we're back. Going cool, but yeah. So we'll deal with that. Yeah, so we'll talk about like that. It's kind of like you guys leave him like I don't really like. I want to get into the meat of what we're doing for this session and possibly the next one. So we're going to be like just fast forwarding over this. But you make a good message with this. You know, you can sneak his body in whatever. You had a carriage and you were leaving it in town, so you had a good way to get the body in, kind of unnoticed, into this city that I checkpointed in the first session we did. This week there is no checkpoint because your GM is a fickle being. And yeah, like. The town square where you guys saw where first of all it's the same town square where Gilraim was there during the execution of the old leader of the gang that Jacques was part of, but also like there'll be flagpoles, so yeah, you could definitely kind of like string them up there in a way that would like it would be a nice symmetry for Jacques.
Mm-hmm.
The next day during the next day it's kind of rumors, like, you know, a lot of people around Marin's Eve are kind of like, you know, murmuring about it, or like there's this like, you know, apparently they found a body in the square, you know, kind of thing. And then the day after that it's been 100% cemented that this happened. You know, everyone is talking about the fact that the body of Gilraim, like an old captain of the guard, the man who cleaned up the city, has been just found dead. Like really, like you guys did a number on him, if you remember. Like, Jacques kicked the shit out of him, like knocked him over and kept on kicking. So, yeah, there's like this bloody beaten corpse has just been hung there to dry. So yeah, good job, guys. You were criminals.
Yeah, good criminals.
Now we need to go on to the next part, which is Junior. Your old buddy, old pal.
Yes.
You like we're skipping forward a few days, so like at this point you'll have had Elizabeth back at the inn. And how are you dealing with all this? Obviously, she's not doing too well because she's blind now. Yeah,
I'm trying to be there for her and look after her, but I'm doing pretty badly myself.
Yeah. Okay. So like how does this like not doing well manifest for you? You know.
I don't look well kempt anymore. I almost seem like I'm talking to myself. Like when I'm not around Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And I look like I've been drinking, perhaps.
Like, have you been drinking?
Mm-hmm.
When you say, yeah. Cool. So, we skipped forward, like, we were on April 28th, so we were on April 25th when we started, like, that's just so we know the exact amount of time that we've passed. Like, what about the rest of the guild? Like, how are we all feeling about the fact that, you know, your compadre has been kind of not doing great over the last few days?
He'll get himself out of it.
Yep. I haven't noticed anything different.
Dorhim's just like, I like the new haircut, as he's, like, drenched in sweat, like, greasy hair everywhere. Just like, but yeah, okay. So let's like me and Junior have talked a little bit about something off camera, so we're going to be doing that scene now. So do you drink at this bar or do you go out to drink? Like,
I drink in my room, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to visit. Would there be a shrine?
Well, no. There
like,
would
not to what we talked about. I mean, just a general.
Yeah, there would be churches. Like, it's not the same case. Like, there will be. We have been doing a little bit of discussion about the religion in my little made-up world because it's not something that I put any thought or consideration into at all. So yeah, there'll be like a pantheon that there'll be like varying tiers of like kind of religious value.
Mm-hmm.
So at the top there are like what is our equivalent of God, this one all-encompassing being that doesn't have a name. They're just like he's just known as like a being. People just kind of worship the concept rather than an actual figure, which is very strange because in these sort of like fantasy worlds, gods are very real. They are very tangible living beings, just on a different higher plane from us. And that's like probably where you're going to be heading. Like that's just like it's the go-to place for needing to speak to a higher authority. There'll be a chapel in Maranzev for that. Okay. So as you're walking into the center of Maranzev, you get this kind of weird nagging feeling in your head. Like this kind of like it manifests kind of like a headache in the back of your head. You just feel like you feel really shittier as you walk. Like all this like kind of pent up emotion you're having is like building and building. And at one point, as you're like walking down a street with like lots of little alleys going off. The church is right there in front of you. You can see it in front of you. Like it's a large white building, very well kept, beautiful marble designs all over it, like little statues, gargoyles to keep away sin, and stained glass windows. This really gorgeous looking building. But you see a figure darting down an alleyway up and to the right. And he is definitely one of the men that you've seen working for Slip in the past.
In Maranzev?
Yep.
So it was the case that I saw him go...
He was just in town. He just walked through an alleyway. Like, you just saw him, like, pretty much walk across the street in front of you, straight down an alley.
I'm going to follow him. But
okay.
Try and stealthily follow him.
Okay, so give me a stealth check to see how we do in there. I need to make sure I've got the right window open. Okay. A 22. Yeah, so you like maybe it is this like, this feeling that you really obviously hate these fuckers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you kind of like snap out of this? Like are you moving with purpose for like maybe like the first time, or is this like, maybe like a drunken thing? How are you feeling when you see this guy?
It's a case that over the last few days I've kind of been like grieving and mourning and feeling
for someone who's not dead.
Yeah, feeling spiteful, betrayed. And it basically, I was on my way to kind of like accuse this greater concept, this greater being for betraying me. Whereas, like for the events which happened before in my life and the events which keep on seeming to spiral and increase and happen. So seeing this person go down the alleyway, somebody who I can connect to something awful which has happened in my life, it gives me a purpose to snap out of it and to kind of like almost like turn my back on, not on vengeance at all, but to further follow my vengeance and give myself into it.
Yeah.
So it's...
You're just like, I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, when you see like this, when you pretty much like crouch into this alley and you're ready to like go for it, you're in a long straight alley. It's got like a few empty barrels, crates, your typical port town kind of alley, you see him like kind of you see this figure like that you are 100% sure in your head that it is this guy go down another alley. Like he's like at the other end of the alley already, like phenomenally fast. It's like turning down the alley and going down a path. Like, keep following or?
Yeah.
Cool. So, you track him a while. Like, he's doing, like, every time you, like, get to an alley, you run to the end and he's always, like, one alley ahead kind of thing. You follow him down, like, 3 or 4 turns and you are moving into you're moving in Maranzev a way that you've never really moved before. You guys have been here about a month now. You know your way around town. But this is like, it's a path that you just like, even in your mind, you can't fathom how it's supposed to be laid out. You know, if you were to stop and think back, you know, how do I get back to that chapel? You would not know. You're disorienting yourself on this hunt for this guy, but you know.
And I'm so single-minded, I probably can't even think back.
Yeah. So when you like after a while, you finally reach like this dead end. You're in an alleyway, like you're in an alley with a dead end at the end, like just this large brick wall. And the figure is standing with his back to you, just staring at the wall.
All right. I'm going to... I'm going to take out my gun and hold it in my hands.
Yeah. Cool.
And point it at his back as if it's loaded.
Is it not loaded?
It's not prepared because I'd have to prepare it with gunpowder and stuff first. So
yeah.
So unless I want to prepare it, but I'm just gonna hold it to him and call out.
Mm-hmm. So, like you do call out to him.
Yeah. Just something like you.
Yeah. Like So quick question before we continue this one. Are you like you have been drinking? Are you drinking tonight? How is your like level of inebriation right now?
Not like I've had a drink or two more so.
You're not.
And I was kind of like in the sober state of mind, but I hadn't been. So.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because of stuff. So when you're like you, and the guy doesn't move. He doesn't even flinch. Like, and you start to hear this like kind of whispering like all around inside your head. You know, like pulsing headache I talked about like a couple minutes ago. It's like intensifying, and it's like just kill him, just kill him.
I'm good.
Crazy.
I'm going to prepare my gun.
Like this is not like putting a pellet and filling your gun is not a like short process, right? It takes a bit of time. This guy doesn't move for the entirety of it. Yeah.
Then I'm going to walk up to him, put the gun against his head, and fire.
Yeah. So like this crack like of your gun, like it's been a quite quiet night. It just fills the streets, and the figure like ricochets forward, like part of his head, like the back of his head, just like chunks fly off. He flies forward, head smacks against the wall he was staring at, and he just flops down in a bloody heap on the ground. But he lands in a way that his face is face up, and he ain't got no face. Everything else is like this guy that you've recognized from the from Slip's brothel, the Fearsome Dreamer. He was one of the men in the room when your sister's eyes were taken from her. But you recognize the clothes, you recognize everything about him, but this man he doesn't have the face. And like slowly, like this kind of like bloody body begins to like kind of wobble, like his skin, like kind of like liquid in a bag. If you shook it, it kind of like ripples, and then just slowly melts away into the ground.
When we say no face, we're talking like it's skin and just no expression or anything. Or is it just like a black circle or
skin, no expression. Like
cool.
just like it's just like a like skin thing.
Like it's where like you'd have the face, but he doesn't have any features to it.
Yeah. It's not like there's nothing there. It's not like it's a void, it's yeah. Okay. So you are like, as this body melts away, all of a sudden like there's like a hand on your shoulder, and he's just like, that's it. That's what you need to do. That's perfect, my son.
I'm just gonna nod my head.
Okay.
So like when this hand touches your shoulder, you feel a real sense of warmth like you've never really felt before. It's just like, just give in to it, Junior. Just give in. You have no idea the release that you will feel, the relief, the pleasure you will feel when you see this, but for real.
Oh, what?
I'll do anything.
Like, perfect. Perfect. And then the hand like kind of just disappears. And you're on your own again.
Maybe my hand's shaking a little bit.
Yeah, well, you just
Like
shot.
my
You.
gun.
So about this point, as this sort of as everything kind of weird and fucked up vanishes, you can see like a bullet hole, not a hole obviously, but like a crack where your pellet hit the wall. You know, like this, it never went into that guide. None of this happened.
Happened.
Yeah, but it was all very real to you.